Good afternoon. This is Debbie Davis. It is December 2nd, 2025. Okay, so I had more stalking of the state police. This has gone on for me since 2016. So since I got back from Arizona, ever since I reported a fraud situation there at a military base, accidental witness of fraud there. Okay, this has gone on and off. I've had videos. I've talked about this, how I actually tried addressing the situation of how I was being stalked by them with a actual state office. Mark Rackett, he was the police board. He was on the police board or something at the time. That was 2016. I still have the correspondence between him and I. This is how long this has been going on. I believe I've been politically targeted since that day. I mean, since I've been here, since I believe it all involves the fraud. Okay, I do fully believe the state is involved in politically targeting me. Not only targeting me, but I fully believe that the state police were involved in the murder of Melissa Hortman as well, because I've talked about this. But the unmarked cop cars all come from the state. When I made that phone call one day, like a couple months ago, I called some state office and they said they have like 19% allocated for unmarked. So that means they all come from the state. So they're all state. All of those unmarked cops are state vehicles. So I fully believe that implicates the state in her death, the state police. Okay, so but that's not the only targeting that has been happening to me. There's also I haven't been able to get not be discriminated against in the workplace for over 10 years now. Okay, so I do have my own business, but then I was working other places. I have manufacturing and assembly experience, and so I was working several places. I was temping for a while. Then I would just get let go, and this kept happening over and over and over and over again. And I was with Atlas Staffing, and then I was with Aerotech. But I would address it with Atlas Staffing, and I would say, they're not giving me any reason why they're letting me go. They're just telling me, we don't need you back again. Okay, it's been going on like this for years, like 6-7 years. I just so it and you have to remember that I am a disabled veteran, and you have to remember the veterans are supposed to be considered protected status. We're supposed to be in a protected status. It actually says on our applications we fill out, are you a protected veteran? And I always say yes, and I put that on the applications. I get illegally fired anyways. Wagner illegally fired me. When I finally did get hired, I was there for about a year and a half at Wagner Corporation. It's Wagner Spray Tech. I was there for about a year and a half. They let several of us white people go. And they started bringing in these people that looked like they were not legals. Okay. And I'm sure they could pay them less. And it was just such an obvious discrimination that we couldn't even believe it. So there were several of us, and we tried to report this to the state office, the state EEOC discrimination office. Okay, and we were trying to go as a group. They wouldn't let us go as a group. Then we tried to get separate appointments to file an official discrimination complaint with the EEOC office. Then they kept moving all of our appointment times out. We can't have this. Then they would move it out a couple more months. Then they kept moving it out a couple more months, and it happened to all of us. So we never were allowed by Tim Walz's state offices to even file a discrimination complaint about discrimination. Okay, so could this be any more obvious that you're discriminating against me? and that you violated this federal law against me. It's a federal law. It's a federal law. It's called protected status because I'm a disabled veteran. So we're supposed to be the first to be hired and the last to be fired. Okay, and what's happening in our country right now is the opposite, and that has to stop. I mean, I have documented evidence that I was illegally let go every single time, and it went on. It was several companies. Several companies were involved, and they should all get in trouble. They should all be federally, Wagner should be charged with federal, violating federal protected veteran status. Somebody has to hold these people accountable. Otherwise, we can't get any work. It's been going on for me for years. And so, that's not the only thing. It's not just the targeting, it's the targeting in the workplace as well. So then, okay, so then, then they keep finding more stuff about Omar, and I believe hopefully she's finally being deported. Okay, but she not only needs to be deported, she needs to be charged with treason and murder. I fully believe she was involved in the murder of Melissa Hortman, and also I talked about how my friend's father was murdered at the VA hospital. He was a Korean War veteran. His name was Thomas Turnholm. Okay, now I know that the VA hospital, where I'm having all these problems myself, I can't even get any care, that falls under her congressional district. Okay, and I fully believe that she has been infiltrating that hospital with CIA people. I believe Omar is CIA, and I believe it's a very dangerous situation over there for veterans. My friend's father was murdered there 2 years ago. His name was Thomas Turnholm. He went in with a minor bladder infection, and they said that he had a cardiac arrest in the middle of the night. But he had a I wish to be resuscitated thing with him and everything, and they did not resuscitate him. And plus, there wasn't even a VA doctor that worked on him. It was somebody that was assigned by, I believe, this Optum agency that I believe is CIA, and they brought some Pakistani guy named Dr. Khalil over to be his doctor, and he murdered him. So, and I believe that Omar was involved in his murder. That is her district. And then also my friend's mother, I talked about this, then his mother died, like a year later after his father died, what was this, like 8 months ago now? And the M Health Hospital in Edina, where she was murdered there, is also Omar's district. So I believe she should be indicted for 3 murders: his mother, his father, and Melissa Hortman. You not only need to charge her with deportation, she needs to be charged with murder and treason. Okay, this woman is about as dangerous as it gets. But it didn't just start with her. We have to remember that this started back in the 90s. Okay, this started back in the 90s, 2000s. There was rumors that there were these ghost planes that were bringing them over. Okay, they were apparently, a lot of these Somalis were apparently brought over on UPS and USPS planes. There were people that were talking about this back in the 90s and 2000s, okay? So that means they were not vetted at all. Okay, if you're bringing them over at night, that means they were not vetted at all. Okay, and apparently Lutheran Services here was involved. They should have done some vetting. I don't believe they did any vetting either. We've just, been totally bamboozled by this whole thing in Minnesota. They're just frauding us. They're using all our health care. We have to wait in big lines because there's so many of them here. But I can't even get any health care, even at the VA or anywhere here. I can't, but yet they can get care, hell no. This is, we just can't tolerate this anymore. There has to be a major federal help here. And hopefully there is now. Um, so yes, that is her district. The VA hospital where we're having all these problems is Omar's district. Okay, and she is a Muslim who hates Americans. Okay, and who put her in that job? Obama, and and Eric Holder and Keith Ellison. You got a Muslim in the VA district there, where the VA hospital is, who's a Muslim who hates Americans. Oh yeah, that's a really good idea. Thanks, Obama. Okay, very, very, very dangerous. Okay, then. Yeah, I mean, I fully believe that she was involved in all of these murders. So that's three murders that I believe she should be charged with, along with the fraud and the treason. So, we can't be playing any games at all, with this at all. This woman is way too dangerous. Okay, then, apparently there was this letter that was written by congressional years ago to Kamala Harris, trying to warn about the fraud here. So this was just talked about on Valuetainment channel.
By the way,
okay,
imagine if you were to say, a reporter writes a negative hit piece on you. Your name is Tim Waltz.
Okay.
So what are all these things called? Feeding our future, $250 million.
This was a letter that was written by Minnesota congresspeople
Frontline worker bonus
to
pay,
Kamala Harris.
$45 million. Evergreen Recovery, $28 million. Medicaid, 11. 10.4, 9.5, all Medicaid. Employee benefits, 8.6 million. Medicaid, 7.7, 5.4 million. Unemployment benefits, 4.7 million. SNAP, 4.1. Medicaid, 4 million, 3 million, 2.6, 1.8, 1.6 million. Futuristic Management Group, 1 million. Medicaid. And they have Medicaid autism clinics, $501 million, give or take. Then, another tweet comes out saying the fact that why is it that in Minnesota, check this out, autism claims to Medicaid in Minnesota, after Somalians opened their own centers, 2018, 3 million. 2019, I don't even know what you call that, 18x to be exact, 54 million. Next year, 77 million. 2021, 183 million. 2022, 79 million.
Oh my God.
2023, 399 million. And if you go a little bit lower, they ask Grok to verify it, and Grok even responds back, okay? Have any of these guys been held accountable in Minnesota? Look at Grok, go a little bit lower. Yes, the FBI and DOJ are investigating Medicaid fraud in Minnesota autism centers. Many serve in Somalia's communities. Ashraf Farhan Hassan was charged September 2025, which was 2 months ago, with wire fraud. $40 million scheme-related housing fraud charges include Mukhtar Hassan Adin, Mustafa Daib Ali, and others, obviously many traditional American names. Probes continue with searches and links to other scams, some funds reportedly sent abroad. And you're looking at this thing, right? And then Department of Human and Health, Rob, go back to their tweet of what they sent yesterday that got some 25 million views, okay? This is the one, Rob, go a little bit lower. Is this the one that got 25 million views? Go a little bit lower. Yeah, this is the one. 33 million views. So go all the way to the bottom first to show what they're responding to. So here's a Dustin George, a damning quote on Tim Walz's failure to stop fraud consuming Minnesota. No one was doing anything about the red flags. He said it was like someone was stealing money from the cookie jar and they kept refilling it. This is New York Times reporting on this. That's how bad it is. How fraud swamped Minnesota's social services system on Tim Walz's watch. 33 million views. Let's read what this tweet is. Go to the top, Rob. So, Tim Walz is 100% responsible for massive fraud in Minnesota. We let him know early on, helping for partnership and stopping it, but no response. Walz systematically retaliated, betting against whistleblowers, using monitoring threats, repression, and did his best to discredit fraud report.
So apparently he's been, retaliating against these Minnesota representatives and stuff. They've been trying to say it for years. He's not just retaliating against you, he's retaliating against me too, and I'm a veteran, so, he won't stop at with anything. He won't stop unless he's stopped.
Instead of partnership, we got the full weight of retaliation by Tim Walz, certain DFL members, and in different mainstream media. He can go a little bit lower. In addition to retaliating against whistleblowers, he disempowered the Office of Legislative Auditor, allowing agencies to disregard their audit findings and guidance, okay? This is a cascade of systemic failures leading up to Tim Walz. Agency leaders appointed by Tim Walz willfully disregarded rules and laws to keep fraud reports quiet, even to the extent of threatening families of whistleblowers. Go a little bit lower. That's pretty wild, by the way. Keep going a little bit lower, Rob. Next paragraph. As staff, we firsthand withstand and observe fraud happening, yet we were shut down, reassigned, and told to keep quiet. Sometimes more leadership did not want to appear to discriminate against certain communities and were unwilling to take action such as stopping fraud that would have an adverse impact on their image. To this date, no single agency leader has been held accountable for their role in fraud, whether it's Shireen Gandhi, great last name, Jess Gale, Jody Harpstead, Natasha Mertz, Eric Grundahl, or others. It's a structure created and maintained by Tim Walz who had created an environment of interrelated agencies, institutions against the media. Go a little bit lower in the media. Tim Walz is dishonest, lacks ethics and integrity, has poor leadership skills, and has never taken accountability for his role in the fraud. Instead, he deflects by blaming national politics for his own failings and distracts the public image. It's just terrible for the state to say this. As such, we can't find fraud in Minnesota alone, hence why we're pleading to the federal levels of the government. We're grateful to numerous solid politicians, especially the fraud committee and media outlets. Thank you, New York Times, for bringing the plight of Minnesota to the national stage. Tom, how bad is this?
This is terrible. What they've done, and let me paint the picture for you. This and the coverage by the New York Times, everything else, it comes down like this. The Somalis, a large number of Somalis, one of whom is in court on a $14 million charge, so this is not a sweeping statement, but the New York Times said that it was a significant number of Somalis that were involved in the fraud. What they do is they create a fake agency, that's the allegation, money comes in from the federal government, and they use it for other things, and they send it back. You know what remittances are?
So this is a CIA tactic. This is a CIA tactic. They use like third-party companies. They use fake agencies. They create fake LLCs. I've seen this before. This is happening all over our country. It's not just Minnesota. This is a CIA tactic. They use fake agencies, fake LLCs, and then they'll put money into it, and it's a totally fraudulent company. Okay, so this is how they're getting away with fraud. It's not just in Minnesota. It's all over the country. So, okay, so that's my video for today. Very serious things happening here that need to be addressed. Otherwise, we're all in extreme danger. Not just me as a veteran. All the state representatives are in danger. The whole state is in danger if we don't address this federally properly.